Hello. Everybody. Welcome. Roses like investigated. I have two lamps here. Two candles. 1 second. Hello. Everybody. Welcome. Roses like investigated. Hello. Everybody. Welcome. Roses like investigated. So I'm gonna combine the introduction with the protection because I feel like I'm gonna start right away. Okay. So since I have two candles special times. So I like to ask for protection. Beautiful red light coming on top of my head. As I breathe in, I feel my lungs. As I breathe out, I create a circle. I create a circle. Step into it. Step into it. Feel protected. Step into it. I feel connected. I like to ask that information. Come only from the higher sources. That it create the good. And only the good. Good for the good people. Good for the good people. Okay. So guys, okay, so like I wrote I sorry I posted so long, okay? I posted so late. I'm sorry. I'm not speaking correctly. I can see. No, but it took me so long to post. Um and and so and so so anyways, I'm here I am. So it took a little and so I wrote many things, and I was like, after I was like, whoa, I posted it. I was like, I sounded kind of angry because I was yesterday, I was seething with anger, the amount of anger I feel. Oh, by the way, I forgot. Sorry, somehow I forgot to post this. I'm gonna add here to the chat if you're interested. It's a totally random thing. Oh no, sorry, no, that's not it. Okay. Oh, I don't know where it is. Anyway, so I had the record of all the arrests in DC. Okay, so I have it somewhere. Anyway, I'll post later, but it just has all the names of all the people that have been arrested in the time frame of the whole event of that. Okay, so so that's just interesting because it gave there was some states, there were names, so you can look up their information. Um, so anyway, just something because I guys. So anyway, so I was online for a long time. I was very exhausted the day before with everything that was happening, and then the next day I did not sleep that much either. But I was like online constantly. Um, so anyway, I was just watching today. It was kind of fun to see people being arrested. There was a lot of links. Oh, I haven't even posted. I have to update it later, but I have the links for all those people being arrested. One of them, one of the West Virginia people that were there, they were being arrested by the FBI. I like it. I like it. I like it. I love it. But it was just like this feeling of anger, and honestly, like it's so interesting, guys, because I have not felt. Um, I have not felt okay. So and by the way, if you want to find out about donations, there's a website called opensecrets.org. That's when you can find all the information about political donors, and it's the best website. It's called opensecrets.org. Okay, so anyway, so what I just loved it. I was online, just seeing these people being arrested, and how and guys, the other thing is, so it's fascinating, those people there. There was a guy who was a CEO, the myth, the bullshit. They're like, oh, look at the Trump voter, the economic anxiety. The guy was a CEO. There was all these women who had hired private airplanes to go from Texas to DC. Like, I'm sorry, and they're like posing in front of the broken windows. Hey, what's up? So those people, guys, this is not true that it's just quote unquote poor people. And then you see all the footage of them going to all these it's all these, like, they go to all these hotels, they fly, I'm sorry, a lot of money was spent to make it happen. And I'm sure of some of them do have money, and others were funded somehow. They were funded to get to that. You know what I mean? They didn't. It's expensive. Even in the cheapest option, you need a several, at least like about $1,000, I would think, something like that. I don't know. It's not cheap to do that. So anyway, I'll update guys later with all the links I have. It's just because I was so, there was all these emotions that I had that I wanted to write something, and then I, it long story, but basically, so then anyways, let's talk about yesterday. That's right. My anger, it still continues, my anger, guys, honestly, because it's interesting, because before this whole thing happened, of course, I've always said that justice is the thing that needs to happen, and now more than ever, justice. And I'm sorry, like, okay, I shouldn't say this, but I was like, you know what, if this thing continues, I'm gonna join some sort of like armed insurgency to go find justice for like, I'm sorry, I don't think I will really, but I'm like, I'm too angry. I need to find, if justice isn't done, or I'm gonna do like black magic, whatever that is. I don't know. I just need to get these people. I'm so tired. I'm not even talking about the smaller people who are there. I'm talking about the guy in the DOD, Christopher Miller, whatever his name is, the guy who, okay, the guy, the story that the governor of Maryland, one congressperson or senator, somebody called him in the middle of this, and he's like, okay, I'm gonna call the DOD to see if I can get the National Guard to get the approval. And then it's like they said no. It took an hour and a half. The guy wasn't taking calls. The guy in the DOD. You know what? That guy, he needs to die. I'm sorry to say. I'm not saying I will kill him, but I'm saying we need death penalty for these people, guys. This deserves. It's a situation where we need to treat whatever the hell this is. This is so serious. It could not be just like, oh yeah, like this is, what is missing, guys. That's what I was saying. Like, the thing about, it's like justice. This is what we need. We need to put these people, not like for like, put them in prisons, federal prison. Take it seriously. It's a terrorism. You know what I mean? It's terrorism. That's what it is. It's like those people, guys. To me, honestly, I think in the scale of all the criminals, to me, the ones that are inside the government, helping those people, coordinating, they need to be taken to, I don't know what, like, I'm sorry, what? Sorry, I'm renting it again. But what is the difference? I don't understand. Those people are just like Osama bin Laden, but 100 times worse, because they're inside the government. They're not some guy in the cave, God knows where, okay? They are inside the government, and they're preventing the National Guard. This, guys, this was all coordinated. I believe 100% this is coordinated. Trump coordinated with them. They were partying, they were celebrating, right? And they prevented, because the other thing is, guys, I didn't know this. I was watching Claire McCaskill saying, that the former senator of Missouri, she was saying that also, like, something about the DOJ controls the police in DC. So they are the ones who decide ultimately how the police does. You know what I mean? Because I feel, guys, this is the thing. It's like, of course. And then today they said, oh, that's right. They said, oh no, today we're not gonna persecute the people who spoke. You know what, bitch? 12 days, motherfuckers are out. And the other thing I was thinking also, I was very happy to see that people say, oh, Biden, he's like this, but did you see the language from the beginning? Biden has been using the right language. He has been calling them domestic terrorists. He has been calling them, what was it that he called? He said something like, today I was listening to him speaking. He said, what was the words I have here? He calls those who stormed the Capitol thugs, white supremacists, domestic terrorists, and said they should be prosecuted. And you know how Biden was very careful not to be about, in the past, like he said, I don't want to be involved in naming anybody like, Trump. I don't want to be saying anything that he should be. He's like, I don't want it to be my job. But with this thing, he's like, bitches, it's serious. He's not afraid. He's not like, because, guys, we have been, this is the thing. I think this was inevitable in some ways. This was coordinated, but it was also inevitable. Where the media and whatever the hell you call it, the climate, we've been kind of taught to fear those people and to be, we care, think about them. And guys, there was a guy that was identified. I have so many links. I will send you so many links. There is this guy named Matthew Heimbach. He's a very famous white supremacist terrorist type. Okay, he's the type. He has his own page in the Southern Law Poverty Center. Southern Poverty Law, SPL, right? So like he has it's a wonderful website that has all of the white supremacists, the radical groups, the hate groups. So the guy has his own page. He's so big, and there he was in the Capitol. How the hell is that guy like walking around? First of all, and then he was so big that how the New York Times they profile him. Yeah, because we need to understand the white supremacist mind. No, we don't. We need to put these people in jail. Okay, we need to put them in jail. They are criminals. Stop this bullshit. The romanticizing of the white supremacists. I'm sorry. This is why we got to today, because they invited them in. We invited those people in. Not, what I mean? The government invite. Oh yeah, look at them. You know how like from the beginning Trump was about this, was inviting these people in. So tired of this bullshit. So tired of this bullshit. Okay, it's like then it's like, oh, what happened? Hello, these guys. This is not. I told you before. When you watch the there was a wonderful documentary by PBS about the Oklahoma City bombing. They spend like half of it talking about what led to it and talking about the Ruby Ridge myth and all these white supremacist ideas. And that's where we are. Like it's exactly that. Those people, guys, they plan. They always wanted to do the Civil War. They always wanted to attack the government. This is their dream. Of course they're going to do it. You give them the space, they're going to do it. Especially, now we had African American president. Boom, that's it. Perfect. That's it. Now they're going to want to do, because guys, this is sad but true. We never had a period in American history where those white supremacist people they were never held accountable ever, even after the civil rights movement. But bombed churches. How many people, guys, how many people have gone to prison for the terrorist acts they committed? Nobody. Like 5 people. I'm serious. Like how many? Seriously, like there's no, like, I don't even remember. Never they go to prison. Never. When they go to prison, never. They just never go to prison. Of course, hello. So anyway, guys, so this is it. I think this is, and I think what I think was very interesting, and then I'll go into the questions. What I thought was very interesting is that all these people, like, I would go on their website, I would go to their Facebook pages, and I contacted the Department of Corrections. I emailed the Department of Corrections in Florida somewhere. One of them had been arrested in DC. Can you imagine? The guy was in jail for attempted murder. Very nice guy, very nice man. He just had been released from prison for attempted murder, and then he goes to the thing. So people were saying, oh, maybe he's on parole, probably parole violation. And I was like, oh, hi. I thought he might like to know this information. So these are the people, guys, that were arrested or whatever. So this is true. Joy, exactly. So anyway, so this is like these people, guys. These are the criminals that are like doing these things. Okay. And I think, guys, the question, like I said, I'm sorry, I use rough language when I said a thing about Eric Prince, but I just feel like it's so big. It's not one person could not be organizing something like this. It's all these groups, all these radical militia groups that, where they train things, they have their friends, and then there's Trump, and there's the people inside the government. That's, to me, those are the worst. Trump and the people in the government. They do this. Okay. And then, guys, let's talk about the Russians. And I didn't post a link, but there was one video. This is like, so there's 2 things. One of the records, there's a mother and a daughter, supposedly mother and daughter, who were arrested, and the mother needed a Russian translator, right? Oh no, and then they're like, no, she's not a Russian. No, I am Russian. No, please, like, the one need a Russian translator. Why? What the hell? You know what? We need ICE to get put all the Russians, like, they need to be interrogated, even the good ones. I'm sorry. Okay. Get real. Like, stop this bullshit. So anyway, so there was these women, and the one she was very pretty, very young, very pretty. And of course remember how there was a Trump rally in a boat, like a boat Trump rally, whatever you call it. So she was the organizer. Oh, really? How interesting. That's so interesting. Coincidence, maybe, no? She was a Trump organizing the Trump rallies or whatever in the boats. Remember the ones that sank? So that was what she was doing. Now, the other thing about Russians. So anyway, so there was another clip where, like, one of these, there's a website called Bellingcat. They identify a lot of data, a lot of information. And then they said the people who speak Russian said, oh, they were using this word or that word, and these were exactly the people who are breaking the windows. It was a very famous a clip that went viral about people breaking windows. They were speaking Russian. Come on, you know what I mean? I think Russians provided tactical support, military tactical support, because we know that white supremacists are connected to Russians, guys. During Charlottesville, do you remember what they said? They said Russia is our friend. Russia is our friend. Okay, okay. So and then there's the whole situation. How the hell do they know what the officers were, what they're looking for? Come on. This was also an intelligence connected operation for those bad people. Okay. So that's the story. That's my ranting for today. Okay, so now let's go clear. There's a lot to talk about, guys, like I said. So should I? Okay, I'm not even gonna go through all the news. I posted here. Okay, but first let me start here. So I have my big rant of text, and then it says question topics. So I start with something that I saw. So I had summarized this, but then someone said very quick, very easily summarized it. I think it was a planned coup. Okay, and so, well, let's start there with the bigger picture. So the person wrote, let's see if I have it straight. Trump replaces Pentagon brass with stooges. Trump announces DC rally for electoral count day. AG Barr resigns abruptly. FBI warns Capitol about passive violence. Pentagon denies equipment and manpower for Capitol. This was a planned coup. So just so you know, if you haven't seen the news, that the Pentagon not only did they deny sending the guard, the Department of Defense denied sending the National Guard on the day that it was happening, but a few days before, so a coincidence, only coincidence, they denied sending equipment and manpower to Capitol. They put some memo or something like that a few days before. Okay, so my question is, when will we know the truth and the ins and outs of this question mark? And then someone else posted a question that I thought was very good too. How many of the Republican senators and congressmen slash women who engaged in subverting, delaying the electoral certification were aware that their actions were key to Donald's insurrectionist plan, and vice versa? Does it make sense? So it's like, it's a lot of questions. It's a lot of questions. Okay. So let me first start with that. Okay. Because it's a bigger thing. Okay. So when will we know the truth? And it's okay. Was it a planned coup? You're like, yeah. I say here, the plan was to destroy destroy Washington. If we can't have power, nobody will. We can't. And this is saying that in some ways, yeah, it was but it was more like an anarchist coup than it was a coup of like, it doesn't make sense. Like they were trying, they see, let's, okay, they wanted to destroy, like, we don't want, if we can't be in power, we're going to destroy this world. Okay. So okay, so this is it. Okay, so this is like, we're going to destroy this country, like, because you know how, guys, how they hate, and this is the thing that I also think is important, is the importance of speech. If you study the Nazi history, you know that it took a long time until they built the concentration camps. So before they do that, it was all hate speech, and they created an environment where they vilified Jewish people, and they were so good at it. They created imagery, and they did exactly what Trump does, which is to commit crimes and to say that it wasn't them, to say that it was the left. They would always do that. This is like, if you know history, you know that how familiar that is, right? It's something they would do all the time. They would say, oh, look at the Jews, they were the ones who bombed this, they were the ones who, they would never admit. In fact, they would turn around and accuse the other side. So that's exactly, they created this fake bullshit Antifa thing, and say, oh no, it was Antifa. And they all know, guys, this is like, don't even, it's like, for us, they're normal people. We think that it's like, oh, but why are they saying, no. This is a Nazi technique, speech technique. They do this and they know it, especially the white supremacist groups, because they study Nazism. That's what they do. That's a neo-Nazi thing. So this is a normal thing for the Nazis, fascists. Okay. So anyway, so let's go back here. So it's saying, say they wanted to destroy. I see they're like, let's destroy the whole thing. Now, my question is, did they have plans? Like, let's say theoretically, what did they think was going to happen? I don't know. Honestly, I don't know that they thought. The whole thing I get here is that they wanted to create chaos and anarchy. They wanted to use chaos and anarchy, I think, in the sense of, again, creating destruction. To them, destruction was the goal. It wasn't government. It wasn't governing. It wasn't governing or government. It was destruction. Okay, it was destruction. The goal is to destroy the America that exists today, destroy Obama's America, destroy our America. Okay. So this is, you know what I mean, like this is their goal, to destroy, to make it hard for us to do anything. Okay. It was more about destruction that it ended than anything. It wasn't like they said, okay, we're going to have a government, we're going to have, no, it's like destroy this thing, destroy Washington, destroy, which is in some ways I'm seeing here the ghost of the Civil War. It's people who bought into this and they remain. Okay. It's basically, guys, people who did not want, they wanted to have slaves forever. I need the slaves because they, back in those days, back in those days, they were rich because they had slaves, and so once slavery ended, they I'm poor now. Are you kidding? Oh, I need a slave. Oh, I need. Oh. I know it's not funny. It's not funny, but it's like I need to have slaves. I need to oppress, because it's like the economy of oppression. Like I literally need to oppress people. Okay. I oppress you. I'm going to kill you all if I cannot have a slave. I kill everyone. Like this is think about it. Think about it. This is disgusting. Okay, disgusting. So okay, now one of the questions. So this is it. Let me go back here because as you know, I get distracted. So let's see. So yes, this was more about this creating destruction, and it's saying hampering the Democrats or America, right? They did not want. I think, guys, honestly, because I see an image, and the image is bombs. The image is like destruction, like a war. Honestly, like a bombing, like a war type of thing. Okay, so this is what I this is what I think. Okay, like a war. I see. It's not that they wanted to themselves and say, hey, we have a good idea, we're gonna do something. No, it's like they wanted to create chaos, destruction, and fear, like terrorism. That's what it is, terrorism, right? So okay, now it's a question. Let me ask. I saw one of you mentioning this, and I something I haven't asked. Some of There was a very now famous image of this guy wearing black, and then he had these big zip ties with him, like big ones, not little ones. And so the question, people said also, thank God nobody, like people, guys, they could have died. Nancy Pelosi, like who? I mean, seriously, we could have been worse if you can even imagine. Yes, it could have been worse. Okay, were they planning? This is a question because they wanted to do that to Whitmer. Seriously, they wanted to do that to Whitmer, right? They did this before Michigan, right? They rehearsed this before in all the smaller capitals. Think about it. They did it all over the U.S. in all those states where they have a lot of whenever there are the militia people. Okay, so this is the thing. I think what I see, guys, see here is almost like a painting, but it's like this burned Washington, like completely burned down. That's what I see. The image they wanted to create, burned down, and people afraid, and they were like destroying everything inside. That's what I see. Okay, honestly. Now let me go back here and why why was it that did they had they planned to kill Nancy Pelosi? Or because to me this seems clear, because one of the other things that I think I mentioned, I maybe have linked to, is that they knew where the offices were ahead of time. They had not been there, I guess, or they have, I don't know, but they knew where the offices were. They knew exactly what they wanted, and they had all these things. So what was there a plan to kidnap, kill, whatever? Is there? Okay, let's find out. What was the plan? A mob, like a mob. And why didn't they? Okay, why didn't they do it before? Like, why didn't? Okay, I'm not obviously that I would never want to. But why didn't they kill somebody like one of like Nancy or Schumer? Okay, so and seriously, like, what is, because this is the worst that could have happened, but it didn't. Why didn't it happen? I have a feeling, guys, that they wanted to see how far they could go. They thought it would be dangerous and suspicious to do a lot at first. Okay. I feel like they wanted to do this to scare the population, and then they would go. It's, we think this is not, guys, unfortunately, this is not the end to them. They still have plans. Okay. I'm serious about it. They wanted to first scare and destroy the thing to connect it to the election and then do something. Okay. So that's what I think. Now, what about the guy with the bomb? Because there was the other thing, guys. They caught the bombs: RNC, DNC, and the Capitol. Three bombs, or three or more bombs. I don't even know how many. And so they stopped the bombs before anything happened. But my question is this, who are these people who put the bombs? Is this part of, did everybody knew about them? And the FBI already released the image of the guy putting some package somewhere. He was all covered up, so I don't know. I know him. No, you can't see the person's face. Probably masked or something. But still, what is the situation with these bombs? Who are these people? Why didn't they detonate? So guys, I don't know exactly how, I feel like I have this image of the night, like over there saying, of course they would not detonate the bomb while they were in there. They were going to drop it off, everybody was going to leave, and then later they would, or it would, or something. I don't know if I hear the clock, like there was a clock thing. Okay, that's right, the timer. I think there was a clock here, tick, 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 like that, like there was a time thing. But and I see this the night or in the evening, like they were planning to, they knew that they were not going to stay there very long, but that they would do this later. It would do it afterwards. Okay. But it was stopped. And I see Montana, I'm not trying to figure out where. It's like Montana person, and it's saying that the people who did it, they're kind of like, I don't obviously, oh, not obviously, but they did not get it together. They did not get the materials. They did not plant. Okay, they did not build the bomb in Montana. They brought the ingredients and then they put it together in DC somewhere. Around. It could be in I see Maryland, Maryland somewhere. Near DC, Virginia, Maryland, somewhere like that. Like not that far. Okay. So they put it together and then they dropped it. I don't think the person was that good, or like not as good as Timothy McVeigh, because also, guys, the Oklahoma City bomb, they rent a huge truck. It was really, really powerful, and it was a huge bomb. This one is like former, some sort of, like, again, the militia people, military, some sort of military training, but not that sophisticated, not as sophisticated as the other ones, but they had training. Like I was saying, guys, those people are legit terrorists. Like, they're terrorists. That's what they do. Okay. So, okay. So anyway, so yeah, I see there's a river, guys. There's a river, and they look at DC. Okay. So they were overlooking DC. There was like, I see they have a river. It's like a place that has like, oh my God, I have an image here. Shooting ranges. There's shooting ranges. There's is it chicken farm? Weird. I don't know. There's some sort of farm nearby, but animal farm or something. And was behind the thing. Okay, there was some sort of shooting range or like something like that. So let's see. Actually, let me find out in front of my house here. Let's see, Virginia, chicken farm river. Let's see. Well, maybe because I see this image. I see this dried, like, is there, okay, Michael's, yeah. So I would see, yeah, there's a lot of farms. Okay. Blue Ridge Mountains, but it's Blue Ridge Mountains is far from DC, but I think I see, I don't know, guys, there's something here. Okay, there's some sort of river that okay. So anyway, so long story. Like anyway, so it doesn't matter necessarily right now, but I think that's where they put these bombs together. Now, is the FBI gonna find them, and how far? How soon? Oh my God, this is like the information I'm getting is very specific. So they're showing me there's a nut, a specific type of nut. Oh, Potomac River, interesting. Yeah, there's a couple. So there's a specific nuts and bolts they used that are connected to the military, like for fabricating some sort of like weapon. There's something again, the military would know what these nuts are. You know how like I watch some minutes TV shows of crimes, but they identify the parts, identify the parts, and they figure out who and how they got it. And then there's a connection, the ingredients and all those things. um so like something like that, like they put it together, the way they put it together, they'll be able to identify guys, and then I see this spreadsheet and data thing from the ATF, because obviously the ATF is the agency that investigate these things. So they have the data, they could, if they find out all the ingredients and they put it in the data and they see the combination, and from there, and I see that there's something about the ground they find. I don't know, guys, there's something about the place where the person was, how they can look at a person's under shoe and they could find the ground, the soil, something like that. There's some sort of a soil thing that they find, okay, that they know, they figure out what the person is. So how long is it going to take? Tell me when they're going to find this person. March, something like March. I don't know. I hope earlier, but I see a standoff, that there's going to be the militia, the same thing, guys. They're going to go to the militia situation. So okay, so militia situation like that, like go to, I think they're gonna, guys, let's not even get started. I told you before, Montana, they have all these Russian churches, right? Like come on, let's, like, they're gonna have to take, and you know what, guys, this should have been done earlier, but it's gonna be done. Okay. Now that's the part of the bombs, talk about the bombs and all that. So no, they didn't succeed. Thank God. Now, guys, let's talk about the Capitol Police. Now, as you know, it's not that I don't think the Capitol Police people, they were to blame, but I don't think the blame is that the low, like at the lower, smaller level people. It's at the top. Okay. So, and those guys that they fired them, but they have to be investigated. So how close are they to finding? Okay, how close is the FBI or whoever's investigating this close to find? How close are they to finding, um, the head, like the head person who said, okay, don't do this. Somebody gave them the order, right? I think also the other thing, guys, is that thousands and thousands of people. That's one thing. It's a lot of people. They're never going to be able to stop them. But somebody clearly said, we don't need enough. We don't need more people. They knew how many people are going to come. This is ridiculous. So they're saying, yes, they're finding, and I see the FBI like going through their phone records. They're tracking. It's, let's say, at this stage, there's a lot of data exchange, like data crisscrossing. So crisscrossing and all that. Okay. Crisscrossing, and to make sure, but guys, again, like I said, please resist the temptation to blame one person. It's because, think about it. If you think about it, well, yes, they took the selfies, but then the people who took the selfies, they got orders. And then the people that were the head of Capitol Police also got orders from the DOJ. This is what I think. Who gave the order to the Capitol Police? The DOJ, clearly, right? Clearly came from the DOJ, because apparently the DOJ, because Washington is not a state. This is what I learned. Washington is not a state. So the DOJ has jurisdiction over DC police. So the DOJ is directly involved in preventing the Capitol Police from having more, because, guys, remember the whole, now there's more, some ironies here. Remember when Barr was in charge of the whole thing that happened in the summer when there was Black Lives Matter, and they put more police than their mother, right? So then they did all this, and the irony is that, remember how Barr had a memo that said the sedition, you could arrest people more easily. So now he ironically created a situation. That was like that you can actually easily arrest these people because but the whole law was meant for Black Lives Matter, right? The whole law was meant to say that people who are protesting for legitimate reasons, they could be arrested for sedition. Remember, it was like, so like, what the hell is he talking about? Remember this? So you know, guys, so this is it. This is like this is ridiculous. Like, come on. It's like just let me start it. Like, this is the thing. It's like they want, if you protest for their bullshit for the right reasons, you're oh, you're doing like you're Antifa with this. But they, okay, they're terrorists, okay? Mm-hmm. Let's ask a question. Did Barr know this was going to happen? Why did Barr leave? Is it because he knew he was going he's like, I have nothing more to do, I'm done. I honestly, I don't think that Barr was so, I think Barr had this mission and it was more to do with Epstein and the Russian mob than it was directly and it was directly about like, it's not, again, he may have known, but I think it's the, you know, guys, at this point it almost doesn't matter. It's about the people, you know, guys, all the people that are there now, they are involved. And remember, I remember when this was happening, there was nothing said. The DOJ was silent. They said nothing. Only like 6 p.m. or something they said something. Okay, let's get, imagine if they had anything to do with Black Lives Matter. Immediately, like they would, you know, they would be on television, they would be okay now. So okay, so now I have a question. What does the FBI know about the DOJ right now? Whoever, okay, who, let me have a question. Who is investigating this? Who is investigating this? Or who's I see, I see Gina Haspel, which is the CIA, I guess, for the foreign influence, and the FBI, and then there's some sort of military thing. I don't know, guys. It's a lot of a lot of agencies. Then I have another question that I wrote before. Why has the FBI has been silent? Why? Why is the why has Chris Ray? He's like this. He feels badly about it. Why? I guess, you know, they were prevented. They said no, you can't do. I guess they were prevented, guys, from getting involved in this or something. It really was not their jurisdiction technically. They didn't think they had to do the policing of this. So okay. So okay, but what is going on in Chris Ray's mind? What is he doing now? He's upset, but yeah, they're like tactical. They were, in a weird way, they were prepared for this. In a weird way, they were prepared for this. So okay, in a weird way, they were prepared for this. But what is it? Okay, what do they know? Okay, again, let me pause here. My question, you know, as you know, I have a thirst for justice, but the biggest thing for me is those people in the DOJ and DOD. The man who denied the National Guard, who took 90 minutes, an hour and a half, to let the National Guard help the Capitol, that person, to me, death penalty. When do they know? Okay, when are they gonna? These people cannot be at large. It drives me crazy that this person is not in prison right now. What the hell? They should be. Okay, what's going on? Where's this guy? What the hell? Okay, what the hell? Where's okay, so oh, you know, I see the word FISA. There's a FISA thing on this guy. There's a FISA thing on this guy. Like you know, the FISA thing, I guess it's like it's a very hardcore surveillance for this guy. And then what else? I got, you know, I told you guys the Patel guy, the other one is also works in the Pentagon. It's saying the Pentagon people are the worst, like the ones that refuse to let you know, the National Guard. Those are, you know what I mean? They were directly okay. So what about again, coordinated effort in a way that was very like down low. It's not like they said, oh, there's going to be a white supremacist protest, don't go there. It's like, oh, no, we don't, you know, they did it in a very like down low kind of way. And then it's, you know, it shows me also Stephen Miller. Stephen Miller was connecting with them. He was like, hey, this is Stephen Miller. Hey, please don't, can you make sure, you know, to get that the thing, whatever. Stephen Miller, guys, oh my God. Guys, Lord have mercy. Because my anger, guys, if I ever see that guy, I will kill. Okay, sorry, I shouldn't say this, but no, I don't mean it. I don't mean it. No, but really, if I see that guy, I'm going to hit him so hard. I don't know, guys. That guy is skinny. Think about that. If I ever run into that guy, I'm gonna go to prison because I'm gonna fuck him up. Like, come on, that guy, that's him again. He's I'm sorry, like I can't. I get so angry right now. I get so angry right now, guys. Because it's like, why this guy? He already did that to the children, and now he's doing this. He's still there. He's a very close advisor, whatever you call it, okay, to Trump. So he's like, oh yeah, he doesn't say it outright, but he's the contact for them in the White House, and he's like, hey, are we on for to it, right? We are on, okay, and he's the contact for those people in the White House, not necessarily Trump directly, but he manages this effort. Yeah, since he's a Jewish person who's white. He loves white supremacists and Nazis. Strange. It's a little strange, but just as there's like those like people of color who like Trump. So strange to me, guys. It's ridiculous. Like I don't know. Sorry, I ranting. I ranting. So Stephen Miller. Stephen Miller again, there he is. There he is, like chatting because he's very connected to those movements, whatever you call them. Hey, I'm guys up to saying, and I see Stephen Miller on the White House like answered, hey, we're on the way, we're on the way. What time? What time? They know, what? Even the time. Oh my God, that's it. Guys, it was coordinated to be there at the time when they were doing the voting thing on purpose. They knew that they had to wait. They like come at this time, happen at this time. They knew that they knew the time that the voting was going to happen. They were doing it to disrupt the voting. That's it. Of course, that makes sense. Of course, but they were taught. They were in touch, and this is why, guys, it was coordinated, and it's showing me the guys. They were first. There had there was organization in the sense that the people who were in front had the tactical training. Think about how serious is terrorism. They had the tactical training. They knew how to proceed inside. And I saw a video, guys, yesterday online of the moment when it happened. In other words, the moment when they broke the barrier. There was a barricade. There was the metal thing, and they all together were like moving the metal thing, but then they exploded. In other words, the guys, there was people with military and or tactical terrorism training to go in and to break through the barriers. Okay, it wasn't, of course, you may look to us like, oh, they randomly were there and they just went in. No, there was the people in the front. They were like, okay, this is how they knew how they're going to do it. There was among them some scattered like useful idiots, but most of them knew what they were doing. And I think it's the ones that we saw the photos of, right? The most of them, the ones that were already inside, they knew what they were doing. Okay, they didn't just like yeah, it wasn't a coincidence. Like imagine, guys, imagine if you and I were like in some weird protest. Like if you saw someone trying to do that, I would recoil immediately. I would not do anything. I'd be like, I don't think this is right, but they did it with purpose. They knew what they were doing. And it's saying, of course, it's saying a lot of them were in these protests, and not protests, the ones of the Governor Whitmer. They trained, like I said, guys, they trained this before. They've done it before, and they knew how to do it. Okay. So they knew how to do it. So it was definitely coordinated. And it's saying that guys, you know what I even see? Walkie-talkies. This is crazy. Really? Like they had walkie-talkies? What the hell? They're like, yeah, here. They were communicating like a war thing. Like, I don't know. I've never been trained in military or anything, but that's what it looks like. They're like, hey, we're here with this 200, they were very like, and they had traveled to the Congress before. They knew how they're going to do it. They had walked by. It was an operation. It was an operation with these militia people, and the militia people coordinated with Stephen Miller in the White House. Stephen Miller, now see the guy, Christopher Miller, also the guy at the Pentagon, and the what's his name? Kash Patel. And then there's another one. Now it's saying that there's this is okay. Oh, and now let's talk about the people who work in the Senate and in Congress. Let's talk about them, because there was a link that I saw. I think I sent it to you. That somebody who works in the Senate committee, I don't even think it's in the Senate itself, it's to raise money for the Senate, something like that. It was the contact person for one of them. So guys, people who literally work with senators and or inside the Senate, they were telling them what to do, how to go in, probably. That they had somebody inside telling them. This is what I'm saying. I think the leaders went to Stephen Miller, okay? And then there's other people, they had different contact persons, honestly. I'm sure each had a different contact person. It wasn't the same person, right? It couldn't be. So they each had their own little contact, right? So this is it. Now tell me, okay, so tell me more. Okay, so then they were, oh, now, are we gonna find out? Yeah, of course they will. They go because they're gonna get. They're saying here it's actually pretty easy because they were gonna find out. We're gonna find out. It's saying here we're gonna find out who had the phones, and then we're gonna trace their phones, and then we're gonna see who they call. Oh, hello, that is. I think that is Marta. Is Marta Persson. They were calling people. They were guys. This is the thing. It was so overt. They were calling people there. They were like, "Oh, this is a." Oh my god! Wow, wow. So now let's talk. Okay, okay. Let's talk about the woman. The woman, she's very nice. Ashley, blah 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 blah. The name of that woman, the tourist lady. So guys, she was a veteran, 14 years in the Air Force. And Rebecca is saying that's right. She was in front, and you know what I see immediately? I see that she had a meeting with somebody, and it was like there's a call for people with military training. There was a call for people with military training to go. Like they organized it, okay? They organized it, and the people who had training were kind of taught or encouraged to go in front, or they. It wasn't a coincidence, don't you think, guys? It could not have been a coincidence that this woman, of course, she was insane because she knew, first of all, so this is it. So helping to no, the FBI can trace the calls easily, guys. It's not complicated. They're tracing the calls now. Who called who's who, you know what I mean? Right? And they're gonna find the people that they were talking to. You know what I mean? Like they're gonna find the people that they were having conversation. Because as others said here, there's a cell tower inside the Capitol. So that's, how cell towers, each cell tower will ping. So if you're in there with your phone, they know who's using the phone. And they probably have a list of the phones of the people who work there. And everyone else, you know what I mean? So this is it now. Okay. Now let's see here. Okay, go back. So okay, so let's talk about next. Let's say Matt Goods. Okay, how much? Because guys, those people. Okay, those people not only were they helping, I'm sure. Okay, yeah, no, but still, guys, they can trace burners. They can find out who bought them. I'm not sure that, you know what I mean. Yeah, but I don't think, there's too many people involved. There's too many people involved in this. Thousands, hundreds of thousands of them, not hundreds of, tens of thousands, right? Like a 10,000 people, something. So anyway, so then, okay, so she was part of the fight of the stroke. And I see, guys, there's a man training them, and it's interesting, he has darker skin. Maybe there was training them, saying, it's talking just like ISIS, kind of like saying, yeah, this is the mission. This is the mission for the, to stop the devil. This is why, guys, the whole religious thing, they were using language to incite them, saying something like, if you feel strong enough about it, you can come with us, and this is going to be the battle for the good and the evil. If you have military training and you're willing to sacrifice your life for, like, stuff like that. Honestly, they were being told like that. And I think she volunteered this. Because I was seeing some people on the internet, guys, on the internet, saying that they have military training, and that the officers inside the Capitol who shot the woman, they were doing exactly the right thing. As soon as the enemy comes into a certain area, you're supposed to do that. So the fact that this woman has military training and didn't, she must have known, right? And then she did it anyway. It's a suicide mission. You know what I mean? So this is it. Okay. So this is it, guys. I don't want to hear. I'm sorry. I don't want to hear more about Eric Prince. I've said before, stop the Eric Prince. You know what? Like, yes, he's connected to Trump. Yes, he's bullshit. But it's not. There's no evidence. There's clear evidence of militias. Okay, militias and people who are in the army. You know what I mean? All of it. Like, I don't know who is pushed, you know what I mean? Who's like, just wait until the evidence that we see is that there's real militias. We don't need Eric Prince. This has been here all along. I don't know where you get this. Please don't, okay? You know what I mean? Like, seriously, guys, just don't, like, seriously, like, just like, I know that the Blackwater, I know the Bannon went to the military and wanted Blackwater to be there, whatever. But the point is, like, let's focus on what exists here. The militias, they've been here. They're all in Montana, Idaho, Oregon, whatever. That's the people who invaded those things. Those people, many of them went to the military, just like the other people before them, like the Oklahoma bombing guy. The same thing. You know what I mean? We don't need necessarily this foreign actor, like whatever that is, to do this. We have everything ready to do it. Does it make sense? So, so anyway, so sorry, like I'm sorry to be pumping on passing on this key, but it's important because it's like this whole thing of like, oh, but no, all the ingredients were there before, like they were there before when we had those other white supremacist terrorist events. We don't need Eric Prince necessarily. So okay, so let's see now. Let's see here. What about the medal? No, because it's saying Trump gave medals because he could, and the only people he could think that were loyalists to him were Jim Jordan and Matt Gaetz. That's it. He knew he had to give it to someone, but he just didn't think of who. And so okay, so like okay, so oh my God, that's right. So no, but it's just saying, guys, the profile of this is not new. This is like in every document, like the profile of people. A lot of people who were surprised, white supremacists, many of them were in the military before. Early on, they went to the military. This is all of them, right? This is the guys of Oklahoma City bombing. They knew they like firearms. They know they trained for that stuff. Even combat. You know what I'm saying? Like this is legit. This is true. A lot of them. Okay, so you don't need. And honestly, do you see those guys? Guys, they're not fit at all. Most of them are not very fit. Except the guy who was jumping. Did you see the guy Chad? His name is the guy who jumped. Did you see the guy with the ninja outfit who jumped? Then they found him in Idaho. He said, "I'm so sorry. It was a big mistake of my life. It was big mistake. I was caught, but I prepared in front mirror." Chad, poor Chad. He did it. Did you see Chad? Oh, Chad said for him. Said for him. So okay, I still have a question. I don't think it was Chad, the guy who had the plastic things, the plastic things. Okay, so like, what about those? What about like what was that guy doing with those plastic things? The ties. What was the point? Because he was seen carrying them, guys. It was like he was ready to use them for what? What was it for? Those ties. Did they want to kidnap somebody? What was the point of it? I believe, guys, they thought they were going to take hostage. I think it's possible they were considering taking hostages, but I don't think. Oh God! Oh my God! You know what? You know what it is, guys. You know what it is. God bless. That the Secret Service moved and took them away. You know how did you see that the Secret Service or whoever it was, they moved them to a secure place, or they had you know what I mean? They barricaded them. They put them somewhere. I forgot where. So they were. I'm sorry to say this. They went looking for some people and they didn't find them. I'm serious. I'm serious. I think there could have been a hostage situation. Seriously. But they were moved faster. And guys, you know what I see? They see you know what? Um, so so you know what I see? That they were like Pence. Honestly, Pence was the target. Pence was the immediate target because they want. Oh, can I tell you what I see here? Oh my God, it's crazy. They were gonna get Pence, and they're gonna force Pence under duress to admit, to change the vote, to say that the election, they want to put, I don't know what, torture him, put a gun or something to make him, force him to accept the election thing. Seriously. I'm not actually kidding, guys. I'm serious. Like they were like, you know what, we're going to get Pence. We're going to get him. We're going to get him. And you know what? He's lying to us. He's lying. Pence. We're going to, they're going to like, whatever they're going to do. Motherfucker, sign over here. Sign over here. You know what's a mistake? I think that some of them, but seriously, guys, there's a scary thing here that I see is not just the plans, that their mind, they were religious, like a religious mind, okay, the religious fundamentalist, whatever you call it. So So they were saying that they were gonna get, they were planning of like, honestly, they were like gonna force him to he's lying to us. He was for us. Motherfucker, why aren't you doing your job? Huh? Why aren't you doing your job? Sign over here. I have a knife. I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna kill him right now. I'm gonna kill him right now. Oh yeah. You betrayed him. You work with him together. And you can't even do that. What the hell's wrong with you? Like, I'm sorry, my faces. There was no faces I didn't know I had. Yeah, like, like seriously, like they were like they really believed. I know, guys. I saw the guillotine, but I think that was much more symbolic. There was not a necessarily real. It was like a news. So, okay, like they were like, you have to change the votes. They wanted to force him to change the votes. Okay, okay, seriously, like they were gonna, and guys, can I tell you? I think he was told. Honestly, I believe the Secret Service told him that there was a life, his life was in danger. He was, there was a kidnapping. I'm 100% serious. Oh, and you know what? Oh, this makes sense because his brother is in Congress. Pence's brother is a congressman. Did you know this? So he was there too, with he was there too, and he voted against this thing. I'm sorry, he okay, walk back. He was not among the Republicans who voted to challenge the election. He did not challenge the election, but this was after, So in other words, he knew what the thing was happening. It's saying we don't even know the threats that he was under. They wanted to get him. This is, guys, seriously, the first person they want to get is Pence. Isn't that crazy? Like, that's crazy. Because from our perspective, Pence is like, it's not like Pence is an angel or anything, but that's the guy. Because because the guy, they were told on the media thing, their media, they're like, oh, Pence is the traitor. Pence this. Pence is the guy who needs to change the Trump was pushing Pence to do all of this. Trump was pushing Pence to do all of this, and he didn't. He said he was going to do it, or he couldn't do it. Right? Remember, it was even on the news. So they're like, wait, no, well, really? Are you saying you can't do it? Are you saying you can't do it? I'm gonna show you how to do it. Yeah, yeah, come over here with like I'm serious. They were like, we're gonna get this guy. We're gonna make him sign right now, sign right now. Okay, so like this is it. This is it. They were like, I think he got really scared. Honestly, this is true. And it's who, guys. I, as you know, I'm no fan of Pence, but this is the guy. Say what you will about him. He was very loyal to Trump. Okay, this is awful. Like, seriously, think about it. The guy did everything for Trump and still wasn't enough because those mob people, they were like, and Trump was, and I see the other thing I see is that I see Stephen Miller, someone was telling Stephen Miller about the plans to get Pence, and he knew, and like Stephen Miller was like, ha ha ha, laughing, and he's like, don't worry, President Trump, and Trump knew that this could happen to him, to Pence. Trump knew, and they weren't kidding, guys. This is crazy. Oh, wow, it's crazy. So it's crazy. So yeah, no, I saw. So yeah. So wow, guys. So this is why it explains some things that why Pence, why Pence was so scared, and maybe, and guys, I think I'm not surprised that he's not gonna do anything because he never does anything. This is not new. I'm not, but I'm just saying there could be something about it. Like he's afraid. Yes, he's afraid. Now the other thing Morsy's talking about, this was a wonderful video, guys. Did you see that Lindsey Graham was either coming from or leaving Washington, and I guess leaving Washington to South Carolina, and then all these people found him in the airport and were yelling him, calling him a traitor. And guys, it's so interesting because those people, they thought they were going to con the Trump voter. They thought they were going to do this because that would guarantee their political future, right? And look at where they were. Those people are so crazy. Those people are so insane that they think he's a traitor. Like, we know how much he's done for Trump, right? But to them, I guess, there's never. This is the thing. Is a fanaticism. It's never enough. It never is enough. Can you believe it? So, like, imagine like that he betrayed the country, did all this for what? Now the Trump base thinks he's awful, even though he's done everything for Trump. So what was going on through his mind? He's like, damn it, the nightmare needs to end. I'm tired of this. And he was saying that on the thing, right? He said it, and he was drunk because he's tired of it. He cries and he drinks, and that's because that's like he regrets what he's done. Because right, there's never a bottom with, we know, guys. Okay, I know it sounds awful what I'm going to say, but the funny thing Oh my God, this is amazing. I get it. God is, and I see an image of Jesus. They're like, yeah. The funny, the ironic thing is that the Republicans, they always had contempt for the base, for the so what they call the Trump base, right? So now the base has contempt for them, and they could never expect that the tables could turn, because everything, they knew that they could get away with anything, they could say anything, and they always thought they were so dumb they would repeat anything. And now they radicalize them so much that they turn against them. And that is something they are not prepared to handle. They had no idea could happen. I'm serious. They thought they had they thought with the religion thing and all that they could control these people, and they realized the reason why they were so horrified of what happened is not because they have a lot of decency, it's because they realized they lost control. They lost control of the mob. They thought they had this mob, the Republican mob, they were in control of them. They could say whatever and they would do anything. And now they realize they lost control of the mob, which is amazing. It's interesting. So they're like, what? So as long as they would believe them 100%, they were happy. And now they're like, what? So we did all this. And now they're realizing that they don't have control over it, and they're going to lose everything because of them. This is interesting, guys, right? It's actually quite interesting to see. And they're like, God, and I see this image, it's like, yeah, this is the price. That's what happens when you deal with the devil. The devil has a lot of tricks. Devil's gonna fuck you up. Because guys, the devil is not reasonable. We know we have orange devil, no? We have orange devil. I see the orange devil image somewhere. I don't know. And it's true, guys, that the whole, even the whole like image of the devil, the whole concept of the devil is that there's no bottom. You can't control the situation when you say they'll sow to the devil sets the game. The devil will say one thing, do another. You know what I mean? So that's it. The Republicans are upset because they lost control of the mob. That's it. And the mob is going after them. Oh, that's what they are. So because, and that's what I'm shocked about, is that Pence was the number one on their list. They want to get Pence. So I think the Secret Service indeed, guys, saved his life. Honestly, saved his life, and Nancy too. Wow. And I see, guys, I see that Matt Goetz is somehow telling them, as this is happening, where they took them away. I guess it was on television, right? But I'm not don't know if they were able to watch television, or there was kind of like a fast moving thing. They were not watching television necessarily, but they were being told that they had escaped. They escaped. Seriously. So wow. Okay. And that they lost control of the narrative. That's right. They lost control of the narrative, and I, guys, I found, okay, I found this website. The people were mentioning this, and it's like this website of their supporters and what they're thinking. It's kind of interesting because they were turning against Trump after he posted the video. They hate everybody. Okay, they just like, they were so angry. They actually believe that Trump was going to help them, because when they this okay, one thing I wanted to say that is actually very important is, if there's any advice about dealing with them, they seem to be really upset that they're being treated as terrorists. They hate it. They're like, we did all this for him, and now he just threw us under the bus, and they're all calling us terrorists. I hate, but how come now we're here, we're getting called terrorists? That's effed up. Oh my God, what? So they were like, they're now realizing that they're gonna have to. They said, oh, but they left us holding the bag. Really? What do you think is gonna happen? What do you think is gonna happen, Trash? Trump was gonna show up and help you? Hmm? Do you believe that? No. No, they left us holding the bag. Oh, oh, really? Oh, oh no. Oh no, really? Yeah, that's right, bitch. He's a con artist. We've been telling you. You think he was Jesus? No, he's the devil. Welcome. This is what you do deal with the devil. Yeah. So anyway, like I was saying, guys, the other remarkable thing that I don't say I'm surprised by, but I'm enjoying it, is that those people don't like to be called terrorists, because you know what it is. This is the other racist. They're so racist, right? And they're like shitheads or whatever. They think that terrorists are brown people. That because they're white, they cannot be terrorists. It's impossible. In their minds, terrorists are people of color only, what they in their, I'm seriously, their mind works in such a way that like, if I'm a white person, I nothing I do is ever a crime. But if you're a brown person, everything you do, even breathing, is a crime. I'm serious. So when they get called terrorists, they get upset because to them, you know how they like the Muslim ban, all that, like they no, it's like the lowest, it's the lowest insult because essentially to them, it's like being called a person of color to them. Think about how crazy, like the minds. This is like how effed up they are. They hate being called a terrorist because in their mind they were doing the right thing. This is how it is. Like the mind games. However, the mind works is that they were doing the right thing. That they did this because they wanted to stop the what is it? They wanted to stop the injustice they perceived. President, oh, he right president. So they did it, and then they got called terrorists. Is a huge insult to them, and that's what's upsetting them. Those women, guys, get it. Okay, let's get real. Can you imagine yourself taking a picture in a broken window of the Capitol, like you loved it, like you're a sick person? Like I would be devastated. Like I'd be. I mean, think about if you were in that thing. The fact that you would be happy. How could you be happy about something like that? So awful. So they were taking pictures, and the woman got upset. Got upset because she she was, you know what I'm saying, like she was not like, she somebody called her domestic terrorist. And that's what so what I wanted to say, guys, if you ever get in touch with these people, if you ever saw them, um so 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 that's right, Georgia, exactly, it's for Pence, exactly. So so guys, no, seriously, I think this is the thing, this is how you call them out, the companies. And I go to people, I said, oh, did you know that I called it, like, as you know, my best friend Peter Thiel. So so I go to people, said, oh, you did business with a domestic terrorist financier, huh? They hate the word terrorist, right? Because okay, you know what I mean? This is the thing, they hate the word terrorist. Being called the terrorist is like, it's one thing to be called right wing, far right, conservative, whatever, but being called a terrorist is this, the way that these guys, they call, because why? Because they call people of color, they call BLM terrorists. This is like, if you go to these channels, they constantly calling them terrorists just because you, right? But so to call them, it's like, what? So that's what you have to call them constantly, and that's what Biden is calling them. And I think they are getting hurt themselves. They are now getting they're realizing that they saw. Okay, let me ask a question. As you know, I hate to think, I don't care what they think, but I'm realizing that this is the thing that seems to work, is when they're called out for it. What is going on here? Tell me. They did it. Guys, this is like so crazy, the image. I see this woman, like a blonde woman, carrying a knife. She's totally like, "Oh, Jesus is telling me to do it. Jesus is telling me to do it." Kind of like, what is the name of the guy, the Charles Manson? Kind of those women who were following Charles Manson cult. It's a cult, and they're like, Jesus is making me do it, Jesus. And then they're like, when they realize that they I think it's, you know what it is, guys, is that they realize that they were conned. That's right. It's like a person who was in a cult, and then they wake up and they realize their knife, that they have a knife in their hand and they committed a crime. And then they're like, what? That's not what she's repeating. That's not what I'm doing. I'm doing this because of God, because of Jesus. Like, they can't accept that they were conned. It takes a lot for them mentally to accept what happened, that they were conned into doing this in a way or another. I don't think necessarily, guys, that this woman, the real estate agent who hired a private airplane in Texas to go to Washington, I don't think she was necessarily one of the people who had obviously the bombs or something. I don't think so. No. But those people are capable. And when they realize that they're being shamed for it, this is the other thing. When they have to lose everything because they went to this protest, thinking that they were gonna like rid America of all the black people. I'm serious, like, guys, let's go weird. This is comment. Listen, that's what they think. They're gonna be like, oh, look at them, like, oh, look at these people. Who are they? Like, seriously, let's get real. What are they? They're racist. That's what they think. Oh, I'm gonna go over there to clean America up. That's what it is. Like, to stop those people. Let's go. The end of the day, this is what it is. This is what this is about. This is what this is about. They want to stop progress. They want to stop people from having opportunities. Okay, this is it. And you know how this is like, okay, like a whole other situation. Oh my God. Oh no. I have to show you this thing. This is crazy. This will tell you everything. This is the bottom of the bottom. Okay, this is tell you, this is the whole thing. Okay, I don't mean to say this like the, you know, quote unquote white women, right? Like, you know, I'm not saying, guys, you know, it's not that obviously I hate anybody. Um, like I hate, you know, it's not like that. But this is like, this is what the whole thing. Remember the whole thing that happened to the civil rights era, when the woman said that the black child had raped her, and then the right, and what happened to the child that was brutally murdered. Okay, in the civil rights era. So it's the same kind of like weird like mental fog that they have, this weird purity thing where they think they're pure and they're doing the right thing, and then they commit these horrible crimes, or they assist these crimes. It's so strange to me, guys. It's something, it's the same mental, like a weird disease or something. So anyway, so I have to tell you this. I think I'm going to show this. Emmett Till, that's right, Emmett Till, guys. The whole thing, the same thing, you know, the whole story was that this woman said that he had raped her. And how it happened is that Emmett Till said that the white lady said that he had raped him, and that's how they went and killed him. You know, I'm sure obviously this wasn't true, but this is how it is. And the same thing is like the same vibes. I get it. You know what I mean? The same vibes I get here is the same continuation of this, is that they are victims. Okay, let me show you this. This is like, no, okay, guys, you cannot make this up. So this, do you remember this story? So I found the women and where the woman lives or whatever. This one, Elizabeth Koch. Okay, she's not related to the Koch brothers, but Koch, Elizabeth Koch. So she was interviewed. Okay, she was interviewed on the thing, and you see her crying. She said, "Oh, I was maced." I was maced. But you know what? This is unreal. So it turns out, guys, this woman, she was holding, and I had to see it again. I was like, oh my God, this is true. I could not believe this was true. I could not believe it. I could not believe it. So you know what it is? The woman was holding an onion in a towel, and she would rub it on her eyes, and that would make her cry. I was like, no way. Let's see here. So I have to show this because you would not believe it until you saw it. Okay, you would not believe it. You would not believe it. So where's the, okay, so there was a guy who did, oh, here it is. Here he is. Okay, 1 second. So I have to show this video from, it's another TikTok thing, because you cannot, this is something that no one can be that, like, this is amazing. The depths of like deceit, and that, this is what I'm telling you, is the devil's work. This is the devil's work these people do. Unreal. Let me show you this. Unreal. I cannot believe, I really, it's like, how could something like this exist? Oh yes, it does exist. It does exist. Let me show you this. The woman she's fake. Okay, so can you see this? Do you see this thing? I can see what you're writing, by the way.
Look at the towel in her hand.
My name is Elizabeth.
I hate to do this. She put inside the towel an onion. She was rubbing her eyes with an onion. She said police sprayed her with mace, but she lied to us.
Put inside and they pushed me on and they maced me.
Look at the towel in her hand.
My name is Elizabeth.
I hate to do this. She put inside the towel an onion. She was rubbing her eyes with an onion. She said police sprayed her with mace, but she lied to us.
Put inside and they pushed me on and they maced me.
Look at the towel in her hand.
My name is Elizabeth.
I hate to do this. She put inside the towel an onion. She was rubbing her eyes with an onion. She said police sprayed her with mace, but she lied to us.
Put inside and they pushed me on and they maced me.
Look at the towel in her
The
hand.
woman,
My name is Elizabeth.
I hate to do this. She put inside the towel an onion. She was rubbing her eyes with an onion. She said police.
so can you believe it? My God, can you believe it? They were, okay. No, I know, guys, she was lying, but think about it. I know she was lying. She was like, oh, she was pretending. She was being so dramatic. But to think about the degree of like planning, think about it. This is so evil. It's so fake, and so that you would like, these are the people that say that Black Lives Matter are terrorists. Meanwhile, the same people, this is like how they lie. This is what I'm telling you. The fascism Nazi bullshit is like this. They lie constantly. Can you imagine, like, okay, can you imagine the plane, like, guys, sorry, I have to go get an onion. Can you hold on? I'm going to get an onion. I'm going to cut it. Like the planning. Think about it. The planning, like you plan, I'm going to get an onion, I'm going to cut it, I'm going to put it in the towel, and then I'm going to find a journalist, I'm going to pretend. And she's enjoying herself while she does it. Like, this is the level of these people. Can you imagine? Like, this is like how crazy they are. Oh my God! Didn't Emmett? Okay, she didn't. Oh, it did. I thought she said that he had raped her. She said she insulted her in her story. She was 14 years old. So he was 14 years old at the time. So yeah, no. So guys, this is no. This woman, guys, this was from this week. That's right. No, this woman. I found her address. I found her house. She lives in Maryland now with her parents. Okay, her name is Elizabeth Koch. So, okay, so this is, okay, 1 second here. Okay, let's see if I can find it. Yesterday, this was the work I was doing. I was finding them. This is her house. This is where she lives, okay? FYI. So she actually lives in Maryland. She lives in Maryland. Okay, so 1 second. I'll put my house. So this is like her, she's suffering from economic anxiety, as you know. She's suffering. She's suffering. So you see, this is her house. She lives in Bowie, Maryland. This is her house. I feel bad because she lives with her parents. Okay, she used to live in Tennessee. That's why she was, don't even notice. She said she's from Tennessee, Knoxville, but I don't think she's now currently living in this house. Suffering from economic anxiety. So anyway, so and say stop chat here. So like, so they're not, honestly, this is a myth. I think they're not hillbillies at all. I think a lot of them are wealthy. As you know, there's people who rented, like, okay, they all went to very expensive hotels. They rented private airplanes. One guy arrested was CEO. The other one was, did you see there was another one? It was a general counsel for some company. Okay. Yes, guys, I will share it. I'll update because I have so many links. I was just like so overwhelmed while I was collecting. So anyway, so there was a guy who was general counsel for something. He was a lawyer. Like, people were lawyers, like they were lawyers. And so on, they, so that's in front of my house. That's like, okay, let's see here. Now they're saying that the bit rate is very low. Is it? Or maybe you know what? Twitter, I closed Twitter because I had to open it just to show you. So it might be, the thing might be slow. I don't know if you're seeing this, the thing is slowing down. That's what it shows. It's telling me, warning, the stream's current bit rate is lower than recommended. So anyway, so these are the people, guys. These are the insanity, the people that decide. Can you imagine, like, oh, let me go destroy the Capitol? So anyway, so wow, okay, so anyway, so like, okay, so sorry, I got distracted here. Okay, so let's go back. Oh my God, so many questions. So all right, so guys, I know, sorry, yesterday I was so exhausted. I have more questions. You know what? I think tomorrow is Saturday, but you know what? I think I might do another thing too, even if it's short, because I have so many questions still. I can't possibly answer all of them. There's a lot of important questions here. So now, guys, okay, did you see I forgot to this? Oh, very sad for him. Josh Hawley, he lost the book contract. No, help him. Josh is a good man. Josh, a good man. Yeah, good man, Josh. So Josh Hawley lost his book contract. Okay. This is like, this is Josh Hawley blog. Okay. So Josh Hawley, he lost his. Okay, Marilla's asking a simple question: why did the Onion Girl say that stuff? Because she wants to be the, guys, the whole game of those people, as I was saying, explaining before, the same Nazi thing is that they commit crimes and call themselves victims. What she was saying is that she was maced in the Capitol, and that she was crying because she was maced. First of all, maybe she was maced, I don't know, but the point is she was pretending that her eyes were crying. She was pretending that her eyes were crying. She was crying because, no, she just had put onions in her face so she could pretend to be a victim, because that's the game of the fascists, of it's the same guys. And even those people who abuse women, who have abused their husbands, the same thing. They are hit by the husband, and the husband claims that the woman, the same very, very evil people are like this. Very evil people like this. That's why they do this. Okay, now, so my God. Okay, now, oh my God, I have many questions. So okay, so no, Josh Hawley lost the book. Oh, and so he was a Simon Schuster, very, very famous publisher, mainstream publisher. And now I'm sure other conservative places can publish his book, but he lost that's significant. Okay, so, and they're saying that he was, he was too ambitious even for the Republicans. So what's going to happen to him? I see these papers being ripped, like everything, that all the plans for the life is gone for him, maybe. No, interesting. So things are, not so good, not good for him, not so good for him, not good for him. So, wow. So guys, okay. Oh my God, there's a whole other thing I have to tell you another day about this. You know how, okay, you know the Josh Hawley guys, maybe I told you this. He's connected to that guy who used to be Pence's chief of staff. Do you remember? So do you remember the guy, Nick Ayers, who I think he was the boyfriend of, at some point, he was the boyfriend of Mike Pence. Do you remember that guy, blonde guy? So he was the fundraiser for Josh Hawley's campaign. He was, so I think Josh Hawley, one of the reasons is that he is under investigation for something else already. And I see, guys, I see that everything, the papers are like this, and then I see him being shaken, like shaken up, like he's gonna take the fall. Okay, he's gonna be, I think other Republicans are gonna want him to see him. You know how, like, I think they're all Republicans, I'd say 90% of them at least are guilty, are criminals. 95% or something like that, at least. Like they have committed crime, legit crimes like that. Election crimes, all kinds of crimes. But like, I feel like they're gonna want him to go down, to say, oh, he was one of, like, you know how, like, they throw each other under the bus kind of feeling. So I think everything is going to go bad. They're going to try to say that it was just a few bad apples, which is not true. They all are effed up. And I think because, guys, he does not, he's sort of like Trump, that he's so self-absorbed. So the interest is in himself and his things, and they hate it. Imagine a Republican is upset that that people are selfish. Can you imagine? No, but I know, but it's just like, first let's talk about Holly. I'm asking about Holly here. Okay, so now Ted Cruz. Guys, Ted Cruz, as you know, also Ted Cruz, he was the petri dish for Trump. So you know this, Kellyanne Conway, Robert Mercer, Peter Thiel, they were all supporters of Ted Cruz first, and then they went to Trump. So in other words, he's guilty. He's gonna be. I see that the Cambridge Analytica thing. They tried with him first, so he's in trouble. He's in trouble for other things as well. And he's saying that the reason why he feels so comfortable with this insurrection is because he thought ultimately that he was the one who was going to take the mantle, because that was his place. He believes that was his place, that he was trained. He was the first. He got the treatment first, and then Trump got the prize. Like, it's actually, he's entitled to it. And that Josh Hawley, it was just right. That Josh Hawley was really was the one getting it together and making it happen, or whatever you call it. So okay, so this is interesting, guys. So yeah, so I think there, I have, but I don't think today, guys, this is why I want to do this. I'll tell you, or maybe I'll do it. I don't know what I'm going to do, but there's a very important question here about Merrick Garland. So Merrick Garland was nominated to be the AG, and Merrick Garland prosecuted Oklahoma City bombing, which is a perfect coincidence. Like, he happens to be perfect person. And I think, I believe that he was going to be Sally Yates. I really did. But it's true that it's better that it's Merrick Garland, because Sally Yates, she was a witness. Indeed, she was a witness for this whole thing with the Mike Flynn, right? So I feel like he's the perfect person to prosecute these people because he has experience with this. So this is such a big question, but let me just quickly look at it, because what is Merrick Garland? We have 12 days left or however long with the Trump administration, but what is he going to do about it? Because soon we could get it done fast. What is Merrick Garland going to do about the Capitol uprising? Not uprising, siege. What is he going to do? What is Merrick Garland going to do about it? What is he going to do? How fast, and what is he going to do about it? You know what I see? The first thing I see that he puts Ted Cruz and Josh Hawley in prison. I don't know that this is, that this is, let's see. So let's see. Okay, so tell me. Oh my God. So tell me, he's like, interview everybody. Find out what, if they're saying that during Oklahoma City bombing, they interviewed everybody because there was a lot of victims. Can you imagine, guys? So sad, the children that died there and everything, but they interviewed everybody, and they were lucky with the Oklahoma City bombing because the police, how the guy, he was caught so quickly for something unrelated, and he was in prison, and then they found that he was in prison. So it's a different situation because this is much bigger, so many more people, but so many people, they like just interview everybody, and it's like go through everything. So, and it's saying that he wasn't, I guess he was in the DOJ before, but he doesn't feel very political, or he doesn't feel like truly, if he was Sally Yates, it would always be like he just is not involved with this thing at all. So he just wants everybody to talk, and we put the facts together. He's saying, let's everybody to talk, get all the information. It's going to be like, it's saying it's going to be a lot like 9/11 investigation. That's it. That's what it's going to be like, 9/11, because it's thousands of people, guys, money and all that. And it's saying that he's going to, guys, when I see the face that I see Charles Koch, they're going to eventually get to the Koch brothers, even because the money trail of all these groups, when you trace the money and the financing, and they say, when you see the money moving and the things they bought and who paid for them, okay, you know what I mean, and who paid for them, then they, this is, guys, and this is what I was telling you, I was kind of mad. I'm sorry, I was upset earlier. The thing I wrote, I was so raw and harsh, but it's true. It's like, until we get to the point where we find the businessmen who are paying for this. By the way, we haven't even talked about Betsy DeVos and all that, because I think her family, she's already been, it's on record as supporting these organizations. So then, guys, I just feel like, when we trace the money and see who finances these people and everything down, it's like they all connected. And guys, I know Peter Thiel's a good example. Like, we have Facebook. Oh, that's nice. I'm so glad that Zuckerberg, he shut down the account. Okay, great. But he has Peter Thiel on the board. Like, the guy finances white terrorism. That's what it is. White supremacist domestic terrorism. And that's what it is. It has to be called out. These things don't happen like this unless powerful people let it happen. And in the case of Trump, they made it happen, So this is going to change things a lot. And it's saying this is going to be the dark tone. Guys, okay, we have this, and we have more than 4,000 something people per day dying. More than ever, the people who are dying of coronavirus. Think about it. This is like such a dark time. And we have the trash people. Think about it. Like, think about, guys, they're doing this during coronavirus. Think about it. Like, the evil, the depth of the woman with the onion, the depth of evil. Like, there's people truly suffering in this country. They don't have food, they don't have medicines, their relatives are dying, everything, and they're gonna do this, and they're gonna fake cry using an onion. Like, oh my God, this is like, there's something really wrong with these people. They're psychopaths. Like, seriously, this is so wrong. Like, who does that? Like, there's something really wrong with these people. They're really evil. They are really awful. But guys, I want to do more in depth here about the situation, what Merrick Garland's going to do. Okay. I really want to know, because I'm very interested in this. And okay, it's showing me, guys, that it's showing me that Merrick Garland and Biden had this conversation because this was, I think this was happening. Didn't it happen right after Merrick Garland had a conversation? Like, it was not the same day when they came out that he was going to do it. So think about it. Like, do you think you find out who's right? There was something like that. So but I think, guys, it's all those the books about the Kochs and about the right wing, the right religious right, is the same. It's not just one person. It's just the billionaires who fund these groups, the radical groups, and it trickles down to the radical people on the ground who do this. Okay, so this is part of it. So anyway, so going back, let me go back here. So anyway, so what I see, I'm seeing Merrick Garland, going back to Merrick Garland and Biden. Biden and Merrick, they're talking, thank you, I'll take care of it. Biden obviously is not giving him instructions, but he could tell. And the way, guys, I've never seen Biden so direct. You know how he was very hesitant to say, I'm going to prosecute Trump. He said, oh, whatever, like I'm going to let the DOJ take care of it. But he was very direct about this. Like, it's white supremacists. These are domestic terrorists, period. They're going to change. That's all you have to do. This is what is so sad about this country. This is so sad about this country, is that the laws exist. They just don't, they just don't function for them, right? The laws are not applied. The laws exist, but they're not applied. So when you treat them, guys, they have to have a Guantanamo. I think Guantanamo is and I see the he agrees with me. They say they have to remove them from the environment, put them in Guantanamo. Okay, put them in Guantanamo. I think you have to have like some island or somewhere like that to put them in there. The terrorists, put them there. Seriously. I'm sorry, like, why do we have to give credit? Oh, look at those people. Oh, like, oh, the woman, poor woman, she was there crying with an onion. So okay, but let's see. I think, guys, this is the most egregious thing that happens. Think about it. The fact that it wasn't enough what they were doing with the children. Oh, and did you see, guys, there was articles, it's so good. Articles about people who work in the administration. They were in the national security, they're upset because employers told them, potential employers, oh, we can hire you, liability. They're like, really? That's when I realized that I'm gonna suffer a bit just because I work for Trump. Really? Yeah, that's right, bitch. That's right. But you can always drive an Uber, You can always work at Walmart or drive an Uber, whatever. Like, they just think they're entitled to have good jobs or whatever. You know what I mean? To have like really, oh, I'm entitled to like a normal national security job, even though I'm a traitor. I'm a traitor, but so what? By the way, did you see the one, guys? So there was you see the one who, she's like a psychopath. She's this lady who beat up a black child in a hotel. It's called Soho Karen. So then the NYPD flew all the way to LA to arrest her. So she was arrested because she's crazy. Like, she's a crazy lady. So then Gail, just see Gail, who is Oprah's friend, Gail King. She was interviewing her, and the woman, she's so crazy, guys. She's like, well, I was just I'm 22 years old. I'm 22 years old, and I didn't have my phone, and then I went just and then his one, she's like, enough. She's to Gail King, enough. So then right after this was recorded, the NYPD arrests her, and she tried to resist arrest, and she closed the car door on an NYPD officer's leg. So that's what these people like, oh my God, this insanity, guys. I'm tired. This insanity, these people. So anyway, guys, okay, so I think, it's telling me, guys, this is kind of interesting. And I'm gonna go over a little bit more because I think there's a lot there. Maybe I'll be able to cover most of it. Let's see. Please feel free to come back later, watch the rest later. But oh my God, no, this is we guys talk about Kevin McCarthy. So what I'm saying here is that, you know how they say that, the Republicans, they're just hated. They're really upset about it. But the reason why they're upset is they're afraid. They are afraid because their scheme is going to be exposed. They're trying to desperately trying to distance themselves from the situation because they're criminally liable. They are criminally liable. And they know, come on, how did you not know that this is, it's like they suddenly realize that Now the way that this is being portrayed, which is correctly, is just being portrayed as a terrorist act. They're like, what? Me? Terrorist? No. Because, in their minds, every time it's interesting. Oh, what's so interesting also? When they have they did it in Michigan, right? They would bring their weapons. They would bring their huge weapons, rifles, whatever you call it, to the thing. And they say, my Second Amendment rights. I'm here with a huge gun because you're going to take my Second Amendment? Huh? You? No. No, and they would always make it about the Second Amendment. They're like, oh, it's the second. But since they didn't have visible weapons, it looked worse in a weird way, because again, they had the talking points for the weapons thing. Oh, do you have a problem with carrying weapons? Do you have a problem with that? I can't carry a weapon. Huh? Huh? You have a problem with that? Huh? So I think I have a problem. It's interesting because they're saying that this showed without this is how interesting, without the visible weapons, what they were about. They were about violence, and violence does not necessarily, you don't necessarily need an actual weapon, an actual huge rifle to commit violence. And it's so interesting because this is true, guys. We haven't heard anything about Second Amendment. And usually when they attack people like that, they have the huge weapons and they say, oh, I'm going to protect my Second Amendment. This time they had no visible weapons and they were tagged as terrorists, which is like makes them furious because it's like, I could have had a tank. I could have had a tank and multiple guns. And I can't even, they call me terrorist without a weapon. You know what I mean? In their minds, it's like, they're going to call me that. I'm going to cause harm to them more. But they don't get how, you know what I mean? So in a weird way, this showed the violence and the evil even more. Okay, so that's like the Republicans, they're afraid to be associated with terrorism because that's what they are. That's what it is. It is a sedition and terrorism. But does it make sense? Because they always have these like very evil ways of like saying that it's about Second Amendment or whatever, but it's not. It's clearly not about the Second Amendment. It's about the criminal activity taking over the. And I think, guys, I see this image from the vision of like a mirror of like showing them who they are. This is a mirror to them, and they didn't like what they saw. And you know how, okay, there was a report, I think also ISF mentioned this too, that a report that Trump didn't like, he thought it was low class. Trump thought it was a very low class. It's a bit low class event. Huh? They were destroying things. It's very low class. I asked them to destroy things. I asked them to come, but I don't like it. Did not have that outfit. Maybe, what was the thinking? Did they think they need to wear a tuxedo or something to go destroy the Capitol? I think because that's what I was telling you guys, is that this was a mirror to them of who they really are, their actions, and they didn't like it. They really didn't like it. Why didn't they like it? Okay, because those people look bad. They will look like thugs. They were not civilized. They did not look civilized to them. It's like, why would we? It's saying they didn't look civilized. Okay, so it's saying, oh my God, okay. Because the crimes they commit, all wearing suits, they're wearing their outfits, they're acting like they're polite politicians. They don't like to be associated. It's sort of like the person who has send me the Bull Gravano to commit the murder, or like the stories of the husband who hire a hitman to do the job. That's what it is like. I'm not willing to do it myself, but I can hire somebody. That's okay for them. But when they see it like that, they're like, they can't. That's not who I am. That is not who I am. Okay, that is not who I am. Hello, Marian. So that's not who I am. That's not who I am. So I don't understand the day they were not worth threat, which is the reason why they get okay for loud music. Okay, so they're like, oh, and he's saying, guys, and this is what I was telling you about, libertarian. I've been reading, I read about it for a long time. It's like they all love, they love Lenin. The whole seriously, I'm not kidding. The libertarians are hardcore right wing capitalists, right? Ultra capitalist. But weirdly, they love Lenin because Lenin was about destroying the government. Lenin was about like you go into the system and you take it down, you take it apart. And that's there's a lot of references to Lenin, and a lot of people that are libertarian somehow they quote it. They're, oh, taking down the system, killing the government. They love it. So when they see it happening, they're like, okay, so this is what I was telling you. This is predictable, just because it's something they've been saying forever. This, and the libertarians that tend to be very wealthy, right? That's the Peter Thiel, Koch brothers. They're famous libertarians. So then these are the people, then their beliefs. They're like, oh, that's the sort of the government this bad. So when they see it being destroyed, which is their fantasy, was always their fantasy. Like they want to take, they see they don't like it, because again, it's just like the same thing with Silicon Valley and those people. They like to call themselves the good people. They say their whole shtick is about saying that they exist to support the Western civilization. It's like, how they say, oh, you hate civilization, you think that white men did nothing. That's not true. How they have these weird like pseudo arguments like that, like, oh, do you hate Western civilization? Hmm? That's what I think. So when they saw the men that were basically anarchists and criminals, they didn't recognize themselves, because to them it was all about the facade. Like they were like kind of like Josh Hawley, how the guy's so phony. It's like Josh Hawley, exactly. Like, oh, he went to Stanford, and then he went to Yale Law, and then he's like, oh, I'm here to like the facade. That's the thing they love. But when you see, and this is the whole thing with the Oscar Wilde's Portrait of Dorian Gray, the book, right? That the guy is so beautiful, so attractive, and there's a picture of the monster. And when as the book is ending, you see the picture of the monster becomes beautiful, and the man himself becomes a monster. So that's what I'm thinking. Once they see this thing on the Capitol was the exposure of the monster picture, and they don't like it for some reason. The whole thing is that they have to keep the two of them apart. They have to be like so polite and so sophisticated. Oh, I'm like this. Nah, nah, nah. That's what they want. They never want to see the the carnage or whatever. They has to be kept aside. Like that's what Trump said. You remember his inauguration of the American carnage. So that has to be kept aside, to hide, to be hidden. But when it's exposed, it's almost like it takes the air away from them. They don't like it because it shows who they really are. That's who they are. They are vandals. They are brutal. They're very cruel. They are barbaric, right? That's who they are. So it's like, oh, now that we see them for who they are, the magic, for I think internally it's killed, because their whole fascist thing is to create this fantasy that they are creating this beautiful world of perfection, where there's not only white people, and then nobody, everybody follows the rules, and everybody obeys, like the whole thing. How they have the bizarre obsession about controlling others. That's another bizarre thing. Like they did, women have 10 children, they're all blonde, and when they stop having children, they are executed. So like seriously, this is their fantasy worlds or whatever. So it's like this world of like that. And then when you see those men who, I don't know what word I have for them. Okay, can we talk about their faces? Those people are mentally, okay, there's a word, guys. The German word for okay, I know it's politically incorrect. Retarded is behindert. Behindert. The word behind. Behindert. Like behindered, essentially behindert. That's the word for a person that has mentally incapacitated. So they're a little bit behindered. No, I'm being behindered. Yeah, a little behindered. No, there was a guy. Did you see the one? I was like, wow, this child, what is? He looks like the devil. Did you see one of them? He's very intelligent. He was wearing the work tag. He left his job, and then he went to the protest wearing his work ID. He was wearing his work ID. Hmm. Then he went. He had he's the proportion of the face. Have you noticed? I know there's something like did you see that guy? The guy, they have the weird of, I'm serious, the face. What is wrong with this child's face? What is his problem? Like seriously, did you see the guy with a work ID? He went and he was the work tag. He was showing the work tag like that. That's him. And I don't think he would, no, they were all fired. But think about it. What kind of person does that, guys? You know, he was really like, he had a weird face, like the shape of his face. You could tell those people are, they don't look very, very exactly inbred. That's what it is. I'm sorry to say this. Isn't it inbred? Whatever that, what is wrong with him? Like, this is so strange. Like the weird faces they had, you know, they were really not the very smart people. They were not. They really were not. So, so wow, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. And so I think Trump, honestly, he didn't like to be compared with them. He didn't like to be fetal alcohol syndrome. I don't know, guys, something like that. They're so strange. There was none of. So I don't think Trump likes being compared to them or feeling like he represents. Because, you know, if you look at all the Nazi movies, one of the things, you know, the Leni Riefenstahl movie is the will. What is it? The Triumph of the Will is the famous Nazi movie, and everybody looks very good. Mongol, Portuguese use a word mongoloid, but there's I don't think there is. I don't know. There's a term, but you know what I mean, like. So anyway, the Nazi movies, everybody was blonde and pretty or whatever. Like a lot of them were like that. They were able to and they were athletic, but they were not able to create a good propaganda. Huh? They do not have good propaganda for them. Like seriously, those people, it just looks. And I think, saying guys, Trump is very aware of how something looks, very much. And so when they saw the siege, they couldn't control it. And Trump seeing the images, he didn't like what it looked like. He didn't, because he's saying that in his mind it was like a painting from the colonial era. Like he would rise, and they were like Trump, 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 and it was like be beautiful, and everybody would be smiling. In his mind, it was like that. No, instead, it's a bunch of thugs. You know, it's the people from the prison yard, from the gang, right? Aryan Nation, whatever you call it, Aryan Nation on a break, and the people with the, you know, the ones that are like, it's not what he thought it was going to look like. So guys, I have to go because it's been a little long, but I still have so much to talk about. So, you know, maybe I should continue tomorrow, because don't you think there's so much to talk about? I'm actually glad we had a conversation, because it was a lot to talk about. It was good. Can you believe that, guys? If you haven't watched the whole thing, go back that I talk about Pence. If you haven't seen I'm still thinking about it. Can you imagine that Pence was the target, huh? They wanted to get Pence, and he could have died. Poor Pence. Poor Pence. You know, I really do. I don't feel bad for him. But, you know, they didn't. I'm glad he was saved. Honestly. Wow. Can you believe it? They were. Oh, they went again. Oh my God. Wow. So. Wow. Okay. So. Wow. I'm just thinking about. Okay, guys. So yeah. No. I feel calmer now. I feel calmer. I'm glad we're having conversations. Yeah, the movie. No, it's not. This is not a movie about Nazis. A movie by Nazis. Okay, so it's a documentary done by a Nazi filmmaker. Okay, so let me see. There, it may be on the internet. Here it is. Yeah, this is but this is, you know, be careful, because not be careful. I mean, I'm sure it'll be okay, but I'm gonna send you. Here's the link. Okay, you can see it. This is a Nazi propaganda film. It's a legit film. Okay. So here's the link for it. I found it on the internet. Here it is for free. You don't have to pay. You just it's from the 30s. I think it's 1936 if I remember correctly. 1935. Here it is. It's a 2-hour documentary. It's an interesting. I mean, it's interesting in the sense that there's a lot of when I was at art school, there's a lot of conversation about the power of aesthetics, whether aesthetics can be judged outside of content, right? So this is interesting. This is a prime example for discussion, because the images, a lot of them are truly beautiful, the film. So then, because when you see it, that it was done with the intent. This is why in some ways the Nazis, I think, imagine if we had the same talent, like that would be, you know, that would be even scarier. But anyway, so it's just like has all this Nazi imagery and like all of their rallies. This is, you know, guys, and you recognize some of the things, the way that Trump stands and the way that he, you know, some of the things he said. I'm not sure if it's it probably has it has subtitles, so you recognize the way Trump speaks. It's just kind of scary, but it's important. It's good. Okay. So anyway, so this is it, guys, for now, and we'll talk later. I'll figure out. I think, like I said, I was not able to go through everything. I still want, I want to update the links and send you later. Okay. Yeah. So okay. All right. So see you later, alligators. Thank you for watching. It was good today. It was good. Okay. All right. Bye. And I feel bad. I feel better. No, but guys, can you believe that what the times we're living through? Unreal. Unreal. I thought I was gonna have a more quiet, January, no. Okay. Okay. So okay. So have a good evening. Okay.